easing tensions over tariffs. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin will lead a delegation of trade negotiators and economic advisors on a trip to China this week. I sat down with the secretary for an exclusive interview last night to get his take on issues ranging from government spending and deficits to slower economic growth. We began, of course, with his expectations for this high-stakes trip to China.
Well, I'm looking forward to being there. We'll be there on Thursday and Friday, meeting with the Vice Premier and many other people there. And we're looking to have a very frank discussion on trade, on the issues of the trade imbalance. President Trump has been very clear for the last year that he's very focused on the trade deficit, and we're looking to correct that.
Do the Chinese openly admit to trade secret theft, copyright infringement, piracy? Do they admit that they are doing that?
I'm not going to comment on what they admit or they don't admit, but we are definitely going to be talking to them about intellectual property rights, about forced technology, forced joint ventures. Those are all important issues that are on our list.
Of course, in terms of the trade story, the Chinese have threatened to retaliate to what the president has said. Do you worry that they are going to slap tariffs on things like agricultural products, on other things, airplanes, and make those products more expensive for consumers?
Well, Maria, President Trump has been very clear about the economic agenda going back to the campaign. It's been all about tax reform, regulatory relief, and trade. We've made incredible progress. We're seeing the tax cuts just beginning to kick in, making big progress on the economy. We've done a lot on regulatory relief, and now we're focused on trade. And the president is determined that we have free and fair and reciprocal trade.
But do you think that the Chinese are going to reciprocate or retaliate, and that means those products will go higher in price for consumers? Is that a worry for you?
It's not a worry of mine, Maria. I think we're very focused on the objective.
You know, it's really interesting to see you and Mr. Lighthizer and Mr. Kudlow going to China. You're free market guys, and you are coming from a democracy dealing with communists. I was reading an article the other day whereas the Chinese track their citizens. They're tracking everybody, and then they have this giant list of if you're doing things that are not in step with what they want you to do, like smoking outside. Your name goes on the list, and maybe it'll be harder for you to get a mortgage. Maybe it will be harder for you to do something else. How much harder do these negotiations become, given the fact that you're dealing with a completely different animal? And are they tracking you?
I don't know if they're tracking me or not tracking me, but we're not concerned about that, Maria. What we're concerned about is making sure that we have a good deal for American companies and American workers, and that's something that President Trump has been very focused on.
So you think you will have a good result in terms of either getting the trade deficit down with China from 375 to a different number, lower, or opening up markets at the end of the day? You think China will open up some of its markets as a result of these meetings?
Maria, I'm cautiously optimistic about the meetings. I don't really want to predict what's going to happen and what's not going to happen. We're going to go over there. We're going to have very frank discussions. These are issues that President Trump has been focused on for over the last year, and hopefully we'll make significant progress. We're going there to make progress. That's our objective.
Let me ask you the broader issues over trade, because we know that next week is the deadline in terms of these exemptions to be done with, and the president either has to put those 25% tariffs on steel and 10% on aluminum, or continue to exempt Europe from them. Is the president going to extend the exemption period for European countries?
Well, Maria, of course, I'm not going to comment on what the president is going to do or not going to do, but I will tell you the economic team meets regularly. We pretty much speak every day. Myself, Ambassador Lighthizer, Larry Kudlow, Secretary Ross, Peter Navarro, we're having discussions on these issues almost every day.
But this matters. I mean, this temporary exemption for the European Union, Canada, Mexico, Australia, Brazil, Argentina account for almost half of steel imports to the United States. If those tariffs are in effect Tuesday morning, isn't it going to disrupt global markets and the supply chain?
Maria, I think we're very careful what we're doing. I think the president has been very clear. There's been ongoing discussions. I think when these came out, the president gave us time to address these issues, and the president is going to make a decision on this.
He's going to make it quickly, I assume, because the deadline's Tuesday.
Yes, I expect that there will be a decision quickly.
And the decision will be either to extend the exemption or not?
I'm not going to comment on what the president's decision is in advance, but I can tell you we've been having lots of discussions internally. We've been having lots of discussions with our counterparts. I just got back from Paris, where I was at a terrorist financing meeting. I met with almost all my counterparts, UK, France, Germany, and we're addressing these issues real time.
But the president was with President Macron last week. He was with the Chancellor of Germany last Friday. These issues had to come up. He must have made a decision in terms of an exemption extension.
Of course the issues came up, and the president has not made any decision yet.